Gamers, guilty aficionados. Hello, hello, good evening. Specifically, Sunday evening, which means it's just about time to get some show match action rolling here in the form of Guilty Gear Strive. This is Bounty Hunters, one of the few events on the event roster that does FT7 show matches every Sunday. All right, what do we got for today? We've got a couple of new faces at the start. We got the pair Microwave Burrito Murasaki making their debuts, but also at the very tail end of the event tonight, we got Mary Milia and Ghozty Biken stepping up to the plate. Both matching some of our most active Testament players on the Bounty Hunters roster. And Testament, we do have quite a bit of that tonight. 3 Testament players to be specific. Testament has kind of like remained a trendy pick on Bounty Hunters for a good part of Season 4, as well as Season 5. I guess it's never really been that much about, you know, the meta on events like show matches, like events like Bounty Hunters. It's just genuinely what people enjoy playing most of the time, and our players do love their Testament at the moment. We had we've had trends like these in the past as well. Like in the beginning of Guilty Gear Strive, there was the, for example, the army of Finnish players, and half of them playing Nagori Yuki. We've had, of course, the Biken resurgence, Biken one of the crowd favorites from old games, and you bet your ass there was a lot of Biken players, and still is, don't get me wrong. We've had a lot of different kinds of trends along these past 5 years. And who knows what sort of trends there are yet to still come. But matches, let's take a quick look, go from last to first, so bottom to top. So in the main event slot today, in the slot number 6, it's gonna be Ghozty Biken versus Sunny Testament. Sunny's that former Sin player that now is all about Testament, testing the mettle of Ghozty tonight in a match that, at least in the past, has suited Testament pretty well, honestly, I think. Since Biken, as strong as she is, from like close mid-range, I want to say, she needs to work her way in. So needs to find like fairly, you know, it's fairly easy for Testament to take advantage of that and start the gameplay from the ranges that you would usually love to play from. I don't, spoiler, it's usually not in the close quarters, at least in Season 5. More Testament hustling in the 5th slot, as Yappie's Testament will put Mary's Milia to a test. Milia's another one of those cool picks that you don't get to see all that often, but Milia is rumored to be like a really strong pick again in Season 5. Allegedly strong for slightly different reasons now than previously. She apparently works with a smaller subset, like a more concentrated subset of really strong stuff. But yeah, strong nonetheless. In the 4th slot, we got RageWolf, who will be the sole representative of the Robo army, the remaining robo-ky army we saw last week in the DLC release event. And honestly, like, RageWolf was one of the more impressive Robo performances of the yester weeks, if you will. So looking forward to seeing what we've been able to sort of add to that repertoire since last week. Very aggressive character, of course, robo-ky, but is gonna meet at least as aggressive of an opponent in Jam, piloted by Flakdo. Also had this character matchup, particular character matchup test, robo-ky versus Jam last week. I think won by Robo that time, so let's see if that outcome is gonna be repeated tonight. In the third slot will be big hype. Maybe the so-called top seed of the evening as our high-level star players, if you will, Oxa and Hoplan clash. Oxa had her debut last week in a spectacular manner, I would like to say. Another Average Testament representative, and is certainly not gonna be easy this time for her, though, going up against like one of the strongest Nago representatives in Finland. As a former Testament player myself, this matchup like really used to make sense to me once upon a time in Season 2, I want to say, but that was before Wild Assault and Nago credit card and all of these other wild changes happened since. But Testament's neutral sort of the control of the neutral will surely be a boon if you manage to control and evade long enough to have Nago in a huge plot deficit. That's usually like where you want to have him. Have a huge plot deficit, and then you get a lot of agency. Now, the random funsies will be had in the second matchup slot tonight, as Wavy will dip his toes in our classic random character battle format versus Spooky, who's of course a seasoned veteran of the random battle formula. And then we arrive to our introductory match of the evening. Let's pull out the cards as well. Let's get everything ready and settled, and players a message as well. So yeah, here we have a pair of gamers on also their debut matches on Bounty Hunters. Burrito Sin, Murasaki Venom, two characters with a taste for mid-range. Although Venom veering a little bit on the more on the side of control and projectiles, whereas Sin is more about large range strikes and big conversions. I'm actually somewhat unsure how this matchup is supposed to work, since Venom is like one of those characters you don't necessarily find representatives super often in the meta. Or like maybe because he is not meta, you won't be able to find like those super hard level, super high level players all that often, and that's kind of been the same for me as well. Which I think is also funny enough what Burrito said before the match as well, if I saw correctly. It's like, Venom? Never heard about Venom. But it's definitely a matchup that can catch you off guard if you're not familiar with Venom stuff. Like the layer 1 projectile zoning, pressure, projectile control can be tricky for Sin, especially if you don't know like what your tools are. It's definitely a matchup where Sin doesn't have like the upper edge in terms of range, but you do have a really nice tool, that Beak Driver, that Sin can utilize in a lot of these zoning matches, like against characters like Axel, against characters like Venom. Not necessarily having the range advantage with that tool, but Beak Driver allows you to counter poke from a lot of positions where other characters just wouldn't be able to. But it takes a little bit of knowledge, like, do you know when your opportunity to use that tool is? On the other hand, you could push this, you know, standard guerrilla gameplay as well. If you somehow manage to get in first, then you can definitely put Venom on a back pedal or back foot. Next matchup, jump D from the air, use the command dash into the corner that we were talking about. Taking a bite. The majority of the leaping from really far away, but the second hit whiffs. That's been a huge bane of Sinkisk's existence, especially in Season 5, where the DP just doesn't tend to connect as you want to. And if the second hit whiffs and you don't cancel into anything, generally you are punishable. Nice instant air dash. Speaking of the gorilla stuff, we got a ball break available here. We'll happily take that. Murasaki now in a Major life disadvantage, gets a 6p mash in. Low stamina, so taking a bite. The biggest value of the eat buff is, well, it of course accelerates your recovery a little bit, but more importantly, the more prominent effect is that it reduces the cooldown after using stamina. It's a very aggressive DP again, holding it down in the corner into overhead. Would have been relatively dangerous on block if you don't cancel, although Burrito did have the meter there as well to make it safe, just in case the opponent blocks. Yeah, Murasaki representing those good S buttons, especially the 2S and 5S. 5S reaches really far. In certain ways, like slightly better poke than Beak Driver, although you, of course, it's really hard to top the reward advantage that Sin has out of his S pokes or the Beak Driver. It's kind of been one of these selling points along the years, having much better conversions from really far away than some other characters. Ooh, despite using the BRC and backing off, gets stuck in the Dark Angel. That was a brave close slash, scoring a counter hit and a wall break. Hoping to not take it with a super, so we're gonna have a lot of juice available here. Could go for some sort of neutral skip if we have those. Yeah. Elkhunt is the classic one. And unless you drop this, this should be a kill. Big classic Tyrant Barrel wall break. Still does very respectable damage. In fact, probably one of the strongest hitting damage supers in this game still. Meets the opponent air-to-air, jump slash. However, Murasaki fixes the situation with a burst. Back to zoning. Yeah, look at the range. The range of those S buttons. One of the classic strong points in Venom versus Sin matchup. Ever since Exert as well. And you do have to represent that to S or other low pokes. Lest Sin like gets just a free way in with that Elkhunt. There are a couple of different ways that Venom can do it, of course. You could just poke, use your 2S, use your buttons such as that, but you could also create ball formations that cannot be low profile. That's another option. Counter hit from the command dash secures Burrito. Another victory here, starting off strong 2-0. And sort of the burden of the risk reward, definitely, even though theoretically you probably have better control on the Venom side, the burden of representing the consistency, the risk reward is on Sin's side. If Sin gets in once, it's so much more devastating and so much more scary than when Venom is on the driver's seat. Speaking of that, 5k pickup from the 6k. Once the wall break, this will definitely get it. The stamina should be starting to recover back soon-ish too. Oh, but that's... Oh, the knowledge check! Even on hit, if it's not a counter hit, all of your special hits are theoretically punishable even on hit. So stuff like a single tap Elkhunt or Beak Driver, those can be poked against and those can be punished. Speaking of punishes, into the corner we go, set up one ball. Burrito is not phased about that, DPing out of the situation, able to maneuver through the balls as well. Big far range, far slash. And here's the Elkhunt, no cancel this time. But if the opponent doesn't try to fight against your Elkhunt, even on block, even on a single hit from a weird position, it's pretty okay if you get to press buttons afterwards again. The IAD angle doesn't quite get over Dark Angel. Burrito still wants to fight for this round. Okay. We've got the juice, definitely. So many stamina, so much stamina, so much meter. Are we burning the 101? Yes, we are, and that actually kills! I think Venom, one of the lowest guts characters. Great recognition. I was about to say that probably doesn't kill right. But Burrito had the right call out there. Spending the 100 for that fourth hit of RTL that does so much goddamn damage. How it works, basically, the higher your remaining tension is, so in the better, like best case situation, you have 50 left, the more damage the last hit of the extra RTL does. Through the wall we go again. Oh, never mind. We just get the win. Yeah, this is exactly the sort of the gap between the risk and reward when it comes to these two characters. Starting with the jump D, gets a nice conversion. These feel good for Venom. Staggering with the far slash. And zooming fast with the elk hunt. I think it's especially like, if you have to, as Venom, I think you're like poking out with your normals from outside of the opponent's range. Like if you try to control the space with your normals, that's probably not like the strongest suit of the character. Ooh, what kind of setup can we get here? This time Burrito just chooses to hold it and not take the risk. But if you block the Dark Angel, you still do get put in a mix-up situation. Classic stuff. That's why Dark Angel has been such a strong tool throughout the ages of this franchise. To go for an empty something, gets thrown backwards. Immediate DP, immediate burst reversal. Do we get another DP? No, we wake up with that throw. So many momentum reversals. And now the full conversion. That wouldn't kill, wouldn't it? Almost. Almost. BRC, that's going to be a punish. You just take it with a throw. We set up. And now what can we do with this? Waiting for the potential DP, I think. Or maybe a burst. Like taco or burrito, rather. Is it a taco? Is it a burrito? The display name is taco, but the entry name is burrito. God, that's making me hungry. Once again, the little delay between Elk 1 and Elk 2 scores a counter hit. And Taco or Burrito also had the juice to convert it. Usually one of the biggest problems for a scene, like if you frame trap your special 1 into special 2, it requires so many resources that a lot of the time you just don't have what it takes to make the relevant conversion. We do have 1 instead of going for the big 2, chooses to spend it on a tricky little pressure reset. We got that. Oh, I love that! The manual delay into Elk Hunt. That doesn't look like much, but that's an easy thing to miss. Because like in that situation, if you go straight into Beak Driver, it often is gonna miss. So you need to manually delay, which is exactly what Burrito did here. Is the Elk coming? The Elk is coming, and with punishes as well. Yeah, that's why it's so tough. Even if you're kind of trying to fish for it, I think the recovery on Venom S buttons is quite sizable. I think the character is generally... Ooh, but hold that thought, we got it! Oh, misses the clean hit, or rather goes for an OTG Tyrant Barrel, but Murasaki's a little late there on the poke on the punish attempt. In fact, I don't think you even can get a punish there, because Tyrant Barrel is, even on whiff, like, kind of safe-ish. On block, definitely safe. You can just let it rock and push the opponent away. And then there's also a frame trap option between those. Oh, in that sort of way, it's kind of like the old RTL that used to be safe on block. Now that I think about it, huh? Those functions flipped around between the games. Here comes Dark Angel again. Can we avoid it? Are we gonna just take it? Oh, that's so cool. When you push them away like that, you get an actual extra mix-up there even after the throw. But not too much damage taken from the Dark Angel, and this will deal damage. With a single 1-2-3 combination. Alright, able to catch with the 2S, but then even if you do catch Sin with that, are you gatlinging into, like, are you canceling into something that actually makes Sin care at all? Big questions that you're asking yourself in matchups like these. Now it's getting a little spicy here. YRC to build distance immediate DP. That is plus 10 for the YRCer, but if you don't have a mid-range super fast buttons like a 9-frame, 10-frame far slash, kind of hard to make your opponent not play in that situation. Stands up for the overhead. That's good. Blocks the lows as well. Excellent. Time to mix him up. What this time? Goes for a low. I like it. Has been mixing up those options quite a bit. I think the first option was overhead, then we went for the push out throw into repressure, and now going in with a low. So the layers are definitely being played here by Murasaki's Venom. 6B looked like it was gonna be late, but still gets there in time. And with the eat, gonna let the opponent take off the wall. Nice instant air dash. Ooh, a little bit of shenanigans here. Might have been a missed throw attempt. Unsure, but here comes the darkest of angels. Send them. Jump D. Still gets punished on the way down. However, that's a pretty good trade, I would say, for Burrito. I will happily take a small hit in order to avoid the 50-meter option. Slides in there, throw. One more hit, close slash, and that's gonna be it. Just in case that Murasaki was close to that burst coming back, smacks him with the super, and smacks him with the very difficult 6-0. Been a very strong showing for Burrito here. Elk once again goes under. Without a counter hit, we're not gonna get much. Counter hit or meter is the recipe for Sin's high-low conversions this patch. Ooh, and this time it's Murasaki who's testing the 30 frame, or is it 29 frame reaction times on the fully charged 5D? No shame. If they eat it, you're gonna be eating well. Escape. We got a couple of balls incoming. Elk, though, goes under, far slash, and then what do we convert with? The 5D, sorry, the 5K doesn't quite reach at this range. It's okay. The fuzzy throw. Ooh, the ball was still active, so checking. Yeah. I was like, one of the points I've been trying to make is the stopping the elk, and just in general stopping Sin with the balls is the best thing you could ever do. Taco with the literal one hit point here, snaps him with a quick little IAD as the opponent is still recovering from eating. I missed it if that was a true punish, but like in that situation might be really difficult to find any sort of relevant anti-air anymore. Ooh, nice jump. This could be a turning point. Murasaki has been looking so much better as of recent rounds. But can we keep it up? One more relevant touch. Again, yep, the ball's in motion. Takes that burst, and that should be it. There we go. On board, Murasaki, let's go. In fact, if we can keep this up, this is exactly the kind of stuff that you need against Sin Kisk. And like Murasaki has been taking those little kisses with the balls that you said in motion, like making those balls call out elk really well with the last like 3-4 rounds. That's kind of what I want to see against Sin. That's the thing I don't want to see when I'm playing Sin against Venom. Nice, gets a counter hit, conversion into Q5, and now, ooh, that was so plus. That was so plus. Was a little early there. It's a testament to how Carcass Raid kind of is a plus frame printer. Nice check again. Anybody's game here. If Burrito gets one good hit in, one close slash, could be all of it. Murasaki does not have bursts, I tell you. Whip there on the combo, and Murasaki, no remorse, as you should be ruthless here. If you're in this situation, no mercy whatsoever to the opponent. Full steam ahead. All balls on deck. Or something. Elk 1, with the threat of potential Elk 2, goes into a tick throw. Yeah, when the balls are available, the strikes are so much better. Repeat it, third time's the charm. This time, Burrito finds the hit, misses the 5K pickup again, unfortunately. Gets hit by 6K, that's not the worst kind of hit, however, we can convert pretty well here. Murasaki can afford to hold the burst here, as he does. Being up around is a boon, for sure. Allows you to play a little extended burst bait RP as if your opponent is antsy and tries to hard bait a lot after, seeing you have that thing. in there. Finds an overhead, not a huge hit. Once again, no counter or meter spent. Throws all of the resources at Murasaki. Good patience out of the corner. The little touch on the back of your head maintains the frame advantage. Super wall break. This is great. 100 in the tank for Taco. Ooh, got them on the backdash. Throw a little too early. Throw back into the corner. We could DP potentially. Just wakes up with the close slash. What a madman. Absolute mad lad. Saves the stamina this time. That's a good IAD. However, connected too high up in the air. This is a common problem for a lot of characters in this game. And especially characters like Sin who don't have like super deep hitting buttons and or good jump arcs or IAD arcs. In fact, that's only like, I want to say like plus 1 or plus 2 or plus 3, something like that, which makes it very difficult to press any buttons afterwards, even on a block from the highest angle of your IAD. Good interruption again. Yeah, these 2Ks have been basically the make or break defensive plan for Murasaki. In addition to these throws. Ooh, tried to wake up. Was that a close slash I spun? Was that a close slash? Mr. Burrito, were you naughty again? I mean, it's no shame. It worked last time, but this time Murasaki was ready for it, keeping the pressure extra tight and not letting any sort of funny business happen. Gold burst, pretty good. Got that juice coming in, which we might need for this defense. Venom is, after all, one of those characters who just don't have any natural wake-up super kind of stuff, so you're kind of relying on your burst resources and YRC if you want to do any super powerful things on defense. You know, stamina, so can't convert this. Only plus couple of frames. Finds the hit. Set point. Burrito. Let's see if we can put them in the oven. So far, so good. Finds a close slash. Extra good. Did they actually remove the extra damage bonus that you get from counter hits moving to Season 5? I forgot. Memory says that there was something about that. Letting it overhit with the jump D. Murasaki, good check here. Maybe a little too far to go into Q5. Who knows? Wakes up with the throw. The timing of the close slash was kind of off. Or maybe the spacing. Unsure. The taco is loaded here. From where? Oh no! What? From where? Cues up the gazelle step and goes completely awry. That might have actually been an elk hunt input, but came out as a gazelle step instead, as like Burrito was trying to figure out which direction they should cancel. 5 heavy vacuum into a throw. Strong stuff. Murasaki has oops. 6-3, right? Murasaki has completely reversed the momentum here. This is starting to smell like... What do they call it? Not a counter sweep, a counter... What's it called when you make like a... Let's call it counter domination. Counter sweep? Anti-sweep? Something of the sort. Ooh, a little too far there. And Murasaki once again, ready to abare. No stamina, so using tension here instead to get the wall break. Alright, like that, especially since we had 100 in the tank. Can't afford to spend it, drifts straight into close slash. However, again, that empty stomach is a problem. Big problem. This is a combo, right? Yeah, this just sets up another one of those mix-ups. Overhead, blocked, tries to go for a throw afterwards. Doesn't get punished too bad. And a huge burst of momentum here. Sprints out of the defensive position. And once again, puts himself in set point. Started with the BMB conversion. Have to burst here if you don't want to get put into a really tough situation. Falls into a ball. Just spends 1 stamina here. Another stamina. Now the conversions for a while are gonna, on the Sin side, gonna sort of rely on tension here. Oh, never mind, we just in the nick of time, as I was saying that, we get the stamina recovery. And RTL, the Kisk family secret. Trade secret takes care of the corner carry again, tries to eat. However, that leaves you quite minus there on the wall break, even on the heavy one. Rather even Stevens here. Murasaki, what was that? There was a very strange angle here. Landing straight into the L count. Is that gonna be it? Fully charged 5D, optimizing the last hit damage. That might have been the make or break between the fully charged 5D and, for example, buttons like PKS or even the 6 heavy. That could have been it. Nice optimization. And Burrito steals it away after a huge momentum shift from Murasaki. That was great being able to fight still that amount after like an insurmountable pressure put on you. 6-0, one of the most frustrating situations probably to be in a show match situation like this, but hey, the world is watching, you never give up, and you put your warriors hard out there, and you can get cool results like this. Even if we only got 3, I say only, that's honestly huge. That's still huge, making it very competitive. Okay, next one would be a random character battle here. Let me prep it up. I think this was the first rodeo for Wavy in terms of random character match, so let me get this. And then finishing touch. Let's get our randoming interface that we're gonna be utilizing here to check what the what the players are gonna be playing. Let's do the first roll even before we have players in the lobby to save a little bit of time. First random for Wavy is gonna be Bedman, and I think both players, at least Spooky, won it with duplicates, right? So we're not gonna remove anything from the pool, right? That was the deal. But yeah, reverse sweep. That was the technical term that we were looking for earlier. Okay, so how this goes is you can see Wavy's and Spooky's personal power tiers, if you will, on the screen during our rolling, or rather our randoming period. You can kind of check what is the value that the random has provided. Wavy random into Bedman, which is located at the very bottom of the tier list, which would mean bad news for Wavy. Whereas Spooky got Lewis rather high up on the tier list instead. So a result such as this would indicate that, oh, actually let me put this on winner stays. There we go. Alright, first one. Spooky, of course, being the veteran of this whatchamacallit, this particular way of doing FT7. And also, I would say, is the up dog going into this match? Wavy definitely the underdog material, especially like if you look at like where the self-evaluation characters are located on the tier list, they definitely are a little bit like on average a little bit higher for Spooky, which in itself does not necessarily mean anything, but it means like what it tells you is that Spooky is quite confident playing a lot of the cast in sort of the in the context of his you know, his own power level. But a lot of stuff can happen. That was a really nice combo, ending it in plus frames as well. Ooh, that was probably a misinput on one of the behemoths, going point blank with the too heavy. It is, of course, one of the hardest, or rather one of the harder things about this character, Louis Dickinson. All those different half circles that you gotta do, and sometimes like one of your half circles will start with an input such as like upwards, or you know, complete your circle in like your motion in time. Yeah, inputting those half circles is super important for this character. Can lead into some funny little looking misinputs, such as like TK air behemoths, or the too heavy that we saw earlier. Now the back throw, holding the momentum in the air for a really, really long time. The full security gauge drone is gonna push Wavy towards the corner. However, the reversal super gets him with a force slash. But no conversion. Considering where Bedman is on the power tier list for Wavy, I mean, we did get the first round, so there is that. But consider, ooh, nice reaction there. Despite what character you are playing, it's always important that you have your fundamentals about you as well. Nice, the re minigun, ready to punish it. And we could actually have an upset here from Wavy. One hit, chip damage territory. We might have to burst, actually. Here comes the minigun again. Can we get there? Not quite! And the 2S finds the backdashing Dickinson. That is a slow, big body backdash after all. That is, I want to say, a little bit of a... Oh, we didn't switch the names. Let's do that now that we are at it. It is probably a... There's a little bit of an upset here in terms of the self-evaluations. And that kind of bodes well for Wavy going into this match. Taking the first one with a really bottom tier character. Potemkin is the next one for Wavy. And for Spooky, I actually noticed like it's as a native Finnish speaker, Wavy is a really difficult phoneme to produce in a hurry. Right, so Elfold for Spooky and Potemkin for Wavy. This time we get a slightly better pick for Wavy. Certainly on the like a middle of the road Potemkin here versus Elfeld at around mid as well. Yeah, it sits comfortably in the B tier for Spooky. So the power level is slightly more even here, but one thing to say about Potemkin, this character has a lot of power level from like just simple things. Being able to input Potemkin Buster, being able to press your heavy buttons, being able to do simple charges for your armored moves. Yes, you can get really far with stuff like that, especially on like a lower power level matches, like when you're playing among friends who don't necessarily play these characters on a regular basis. But same could be said about Elfeld. Look at this. The Rekka loop, not necessarily as devious as it was in the past, because you can no longer like infinitely Oh, nice! This is another thing that you might have seen in the movies. Don't necessarily have to have ever done it, but you know it's possible, and you know that you can count on it. Put a huge super projectile on the board, opponent tries to jump over, and you smack him with a heavenly Potemkin Buster. Classic stuff, honestly. I mean, I guess classic in Guilty Gear Strive terms, because Gigantor has never been a forward-moving projectile in the past in Guilty Gear. If memory serves correctly. There's the pressure reset. It's not just the Rekkas that you have to worry about, it's also the Pineberry. Yeah, that move that can reset your pressure pretty much at any point. We're gonna throw and looking for a... Ooh, it goes for a little bit too close and doesn't get the meaty timing. Those meaty timings especially are some of the easiest mistakes to make on a character that you don't play actively. Tried to convert, however, hits it OTG, and that ends up being the crucial mistake that broke the camel's back. Ooh, that kind of looked like a sliding buster, didn't it? Was that just a clean Kara throw? Do we got those? Or sorry, Kara buster? Yeah, has the RC. The third hit of the Rekka, if you go for like a low or high ender. Casually snatches the burst from Baby. Blocks the overhead correctly, but then comes the second hit. Yeah, it's never open with just one. In addition to the opening Rekka, you have two opportunities to go for high, high, low, 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 high, high, low. Or you could also end in the classic heavy finisher, which is just safe overall. Wavy, another one. With that Potemkin. Seeing what the late luck will bring next. 2-0 start, very strong for a Wavy, for sure. Faust. Is the verdict. What's it gonna be for Spooky? Asuka? Anji? Very close to Asuka. It's gonna be Asuka. Much cooler, honestly. Although characters like Asuka are a little problematic in this kind of format. Yeah, in the C tier for Spooky. Whereas Faust is located... I mean, even if Faust is rather low, yeah, it is in the basically at the bottom of Wavy's list. Even though Faust is pretty low, potentially a character that you can get some value out of by just throwing items and like having sort of like a mental image of what the sort of the behavior of those items are and try to follow it up just... Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Mix, mix, mix through the projectile like that? Never seen that kind of strategy used by the mix, mix, mix. Right, out of mana, which is very standard in Season 5 Asuka gameplay. You can no longer, like, a lot of your mana recovery stuff is just majorly nerfed. Punishing the mix, mix, mix here with a back throw as well. Looking good for Spooky. One attack in hand, but luckily it's the multi-cube. We'll get tagged by this super, but I think Spooky did have a lot of mana still in mana still in the tank, so can survive with the massive defensive modifier that you always have available as long as you have mana remaining. There we go. And even without any like super relevant spells, you always have access to your normals and notably your 2D, which is kind of a projectile. Ah, I see the vision. I see the vision. Tried to go for one of those like cross-up mixes, or maybe an escape Tatsu. That kind of looked like an escape Tatsu to me, didn't it? Going with freezing spell in hand, uses meter to get another one, but now out of mana. We're gonna have to wait for a while. Fuzzy throw. It's spooking a tough spot. The mana shield is back. Quick 1, 2, 3. I love these. I love these in the random character select matches. If you don't know your optimal combos, and if you're not sure how to convert into a lot of damage, hey, a simple ABC into super is kind of legit. At least you're gonna get some amount of damage from your pokes. Okay, back throw. Spooky still with the meter. Oh, trust. Yeah. It's a little hard because like almost all actions that you do on Asuka, you usually follow up with either like mana recharge or draw a new card or stuff like that. But if you don't have the finger DDR completely down, you might leave gaps larger than some of the higher level Asuka players. That might be exploited. Could be exploited. Will be exploited, let's put it like that. I would exploit that. Show me that your gameplay is tight before I believe it. Spooky with a slightly unfortunate hand here. Oh, never mind. Able to bluff a full hand. Not necessarily a full hand, but like 3 extra spells. We could import 3 spells immediately. Goes for a meaty. However, here's the reversal super again. Run over them. Slide situation. Semi-even. However, Spooky is freshly mana broken, so we'll have to spend we'll have to stall for time here. Unfortunate, land straight into a counter hit close slash, and that's gonna be the round. With mana shield intact, maybe could have survived. Without, no chance. Extremely strong start here for Wavy. It's gonna be another Faust, so I believe we are playing with the duplicates available, so repeat characters can happen. Is it literally the same matchup again? What are the odds? Does somebody want to do math for how likely that is to happen? That's like, huh. Okay, so there are, what, 33, 34 characters in the roster at the moment? Number of characters to the power of 2. Yeah, whatever number that is. That seems like a pretty high number to me. Without pulling out my calculator. 1 in over 1,000. Yeah. I mean, it can happen. Can happen. It's more likely than you think. Probably the only time it's gonna happen in the entire history of bounty hunters. Okay, so the players did agree that they actually want to reroll this. So, we're gonna redo. Understandable. This is a format where it's kind of like, there's a lot of flexibility. It's already like a funsy kind of a format to begin with. So if both players agree that it shall be so, then it shall be so. Wavy gonna rock the soul. And there we go. These should be more fun characters, especially for Spooky. If I recall correctly, Robo is, yeah, at the top of the list for Spooky. So this is gonna be a super powerful pick. Soul on Wavy is where? It's much more closer to the bottom end of the list. Okay. So this should be a good one. Should be a good one. Damn. 1 in 1,100, or 1 in, what's the, yeah, it's, yeah, it's crazy odds, crazy odds. Anyway, robo-ky though. 2 super aggressive characters. Soul, probably some of the best pressure in the game when you get there. Robo, some of the best mix-ups in the game when you get there. And the early cash out here. This will actually carry towards the corner quite a bit. Chooses the cash out as well, so extra hard corner carry for Spooky. It's an interesting cost because it does not cost you extra tension, but it will empty your electricity gauge. So depending on how much you value having like level 2 available, which the threshold is at that 21 battery, I believe. That's gonna be a punish. Good recognition by Wavy, gets the back throw and into the premium striking position that Soul Bad Guy is known for. Ooh, missed the combo. And Spooky ready to call it out. 5B, switch sides. Do the segue. Luckily ended up kind of missing there with the level 1 segue. If you ram yourself into opponent's guard with the level 2 or level 3, it's usually going to be a guaranteed punish because they're definitely in the know. Can we get a punish? Not quite. The 2D a little too slow here. Wavy still just by a little bit. I thought there was like 1 pixel left on Wavy's life bar. Still a punish. Yeah, it's quite minus. Quite minus. So generally, if you don't hit confirm hits, you probably want to cancel into stuff like his rocket punch or just a mat. Like even like a 5 heavy into mat is like minus 12 or something, but it is not the easiest thing in the world for the opponent to punish. And in addition to that, you are standing and recovering on your mat, so generating that ever important battery resource. 1-1. Clean air throw. Is this where it starts? Close slash. Swiftly evades the 2D, the pounce out of the corner, which is notably not low profile for robo-ky. Jump slash, that's a long whiff animation there, especially during the slowdown frames of BRC. Rocket punch. Ooh, another clean air throw. Looking for one more. 5D. Is that a punish? Yes, indeed, but no cancel. Ooh, the 5D tap here. 20 frame reaction times. Wavy forces in with the hard to block stuff. Damn, and even despite the robo pick, looks like the soul was still at a functional enough level for Wavy. Speaking of standard stuff, Giovanna is gonna be the next one for Wavy's. Which is, let's see, Geo, probably, yeah, roughly around where Soul was. Versus Axel, which is, if memory serves correctly, one of Spooky's stronger characters. Yes. It's rather high on the list, so A tier material here on Axel Low. Character that got decent amount of buffs as well. Between the transition from Season 4 to Season 5. Character that I would definitely like to see more from Sign of Peace of Bounty Hunters. But you know those trends. Some characters are a little bit more beloved among your regulars than others. It's like characters like Axel and Ram that we like don't tend to see all that often on Bounty Hunters.
Duel 1.
All right, but Giovanna is quite mobile. Especially like against Axel, you generally want to have a character who is really fast at dashing forward, which Giovanna definitely is. Like she's more known for her like step dash cancels, carrying momentum into her strikes. I think that's a little difficult to utilize a lot of the time against Axel, right? Because like the problem against Axel is like not that you can't exactly close in, it's that like you can't just you can't really press any buttons on the ground because there's always something in front of you. And if you block anything from Axel, then Rensen is just gonna blow you back to full screen. So with a neutral jump shimmy here. Baby staying hot. And striking the iron, or something. Funny analogy. Ready to block the 5D as well. Wavy's been defensively so sound this event. Every time I personally play like a character that I'm not the most comfortable with, my fundamentals tend to go down the drains, or certain kind of fundamentals usually tend to go down the drain as I'm like just spending all of my brain power in trying to pilot that character that I'm not so used to. Good timing here. Pushes Wavy into the corner. Fights out of there. YRC into a nice little checkmate. I think that's like 10, is that 10 or 11 frames? I think that's 10 frame far slash that Axel has. So there is basically no escape from that YRC. Like one of the few characters in the game who can just YRC and basically say that, nah, you're not gonna do anything. You're gonna respect my poke afterwards. Spooky would definitely love to get on the board with this one. Life situation even, but again, it's the risk versus reward. Once Gio gets in once, one super hit confirmed, could be it. That's gonna be it. Couple of hits back to back, and Wavy seems unstoppable. I can kind of see why Wavy was like sort of interested about this format, even though like looking at Wavy's tier list, it doesn't look like super confident, but I mean, we could have all sorts of like mental biases. What we've seen from Wavy so far seems like relatively solid, considering a lot of these characters allegedly are not like, don't have a lot of experience put into them. Lucy versus Chip, so Spooky with the Chip, Wavy with the Lucy. I would generally say that Chip is kind of like mortal enemy of these like long-range characters. So Lucifer Wavy is decently high, like mid-tier. But I mean, so far from what we've seen, this mid-tier for Wavy is kind of dangerous, kind of spooky. Kind of spooky. Didn't mean to make that pun. And the Chip is semi-high for Spooky as well. But of course, a lot of that theory doesn't mean much in the face of like, you know, your player ability, your player tendencies, and like a lot of other factors that are just impossible to like talk about concisely. These are video games that have a lot of different factors going in, while Wavy's just standing all of those overheads. I mean, I guess it's like if you have the fundamental know-how against Chip Slayer 1, usually when Rekka 2 connects on you on block, you would probably block high. Because generally, like the two options that you like, the most common option you are gonna be take is the cancel into Rekka 3 and RC. Or, I mean, Chip players could play the, whatchamacallit, like the fast RC into another Rekka or another low as well, out of that. Now stays at a very safe distance. I think Chip's DP is one of those DPs that you could potentially disjoint. So standing far away and like tippering your pokes is a potentially a good idea. Look at that! What a 5P! What a 5P for Wavy! Absolute champion, stopping those downward gamma blades, or like what blades? Beta blades? Alpha blades? Alpha blades! And a shot in the heart. And I don't know who is to blame. Probably RNG in this case. Oh, still? Wow, gets into a good position to press buttons even after the jump D from Lucy. The backdash shimmy. Of course, we are always in the range to land those counter hits still. Reversal super. Not gonna hit. So a big punish opportunity for Spooky. Able to get the full combo. Yes, yes, yes. We like that stuff. Very close to 50 meter as well. PRC. Ah, the 6P. Very punishable. So able to get it. Fall straight into the into the handgun. What gun is that? I think it's like one of those guns from Cyberpunk, right? Damn, Wavy. Absolutely no chill here. As it should be, if you come here with the purpose of, you know, showing the world what's what. Close to Gold Lewis, is it gonna be? Yes, indeed. Gonna be Gold Lewis for Wavy. Situated in at the very bottom of the list, so this could be an opportunity to open it up. Axel, okay, this should be a good matchup, right? This should be a good matchup. If I know anything about Guilty Gear Strive, this should be a good matchup. Yeah? Please tell me it's a good matchup. I mean, you do have your neutral skip options in terms of like what you have access to from security gauge. If by some miracle you get a drone out, or then of course taking out minigun should be pretty good. But other than that, like getting in on Axel should be relatively difficult for Mr. Dickinson.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. Like, even if you take out those security gauge options, the range that Axel possesses kind of disables you, or like disenables you, prevents you, that's the word we're looking for, from doing much. And even if you took it out, yeah, Spooky just blocking it, and now you have to wait for extra amount of time for the security gauge to come back. I mean, you're probably gonna wait more than the time that the gauge takes to recover. You're more waiting for your opportunity to actually do anything. Into the Winter Mantis, or sorry, not Winter Mantis, Winter Cherry RPS. It's classic Guilty Gear Strive Rens and RPS. The follow-up, are you gonna hold it or are you gonna delay it? Sorry, or are you gonna do it immediately or are you gonna delay it? And depending on which option Axel chooses at the end of the Rensen, the countermeasures are different. Spooky is out of there. Now, time to zone some more. 6P. Ooh, a little bit too far there to make the hit count for Dickinson. Yeah, the fully charged, or rather the delayed Winter Cherry, when Axel screams the yes, is extremely plus on block, allowing you to sort of keep your opponent there still and go for potentially another Rensen if you want. Right through the wall, slide straight into. Oh yeah, there really was not a whole lot of stuff that you could do there with the active 2P. And now the chip damage threat could be an issue soon, especially the fully charged Winter Cherry deals quite a significant amount of chip damage. In fact, that's generally the that's generally like your the main meat and potatoes of your chip damage game plan for this character. Used to be like a lot of other special, like you could just connect with any of your special move, even just normal Rens, and that would deal a shit ton of chip damage on the opponent. But I think it's generally, like nowadays, allocated into the Winter Cherry. So if you win that RPS and get to do the delayed Cherry on the opponent, that deals significant amount of chip damage, in addition to the plus frames. So Venom for Wavy. And Lucy for Spooky. Where are those characters? So Lucy is semi-high on Spooky's tier list. Whereas Venom, I would imagine somewhere towards the bottom right, because like this is like one of the more maybe like one of the more technical characters. Yeah, it is below mid tier, certainly. But not in the despair tier, so this could still have some. This could definitely still have a fighting chance for Wavy. Which is definitely completely on the opposite end of the spectrum of what Spooky wants. Oh, we zoning here? You wanna play ball? I'll play with my gun. The B&B B&B combos are working out for Spooky. Canceling into the gun and still recovers fast enough to catch Wavy on the landing. Of course, the problem with the gun is that on a crouching opponent, it isn't gonna connect. And depending on the range, like if the opponent is close enough, they might be able to punish you. They have a small in here, sweeping the legs of Wavy's. The string ending RPS, usually between the dash attack as well as the, what is it called? The mono wire and its charge. Who can we throw here? Yes, indeed, and that's gonna be a round for Spooky. Still alive, still alive. And it looks like, yeah, it's definitely not looking as confident for Wavy. Probably because of the technical aspect of the character. I wonder if, like, at this level of play, if you would just not want to think about the balls at all, other than, of course, Stinger. Stinger is everybody's beloved, and you should always consider that tool. But creating other sorts of ball formations might not be in your best interests if you just, you know, don't have the basics of the character down. Ooh, the 6 heavy! Actually, with a very decent launch, but difficult to know the routes. Wavy on a set point here. 6-1. In a random versus... Oh, that was too much delay here. Although lucky for Spooky, was still able to get a trade at least. And now, the cash out should get the wall. Yep. Lucy's like ABC strings are fairly strong, I want to say. That's gonna be a punish. At close range. Fully charged 5D. Ooh, but Q's up 5D after that. That's a tragedy. So now Wavy, for the rest of the round, ain't gonna have access to the full burst. Only potentially a deflect shield. Wakes up with a DP and the gun. Prevents Wavy from coming in. We do have a chance though on the Venom side. Ah, but the instant air dash out of there. Spooky fighting to live another day. Fully charged 5D, blocks it again. I think Wavy is impenetrable in terms of overheads. Absolute overhead blocking machine. Tries to bluff there, takes out the ball. No dice. Spooky is ready to poke and still alive. Na 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 na. Something something. Portal 1 and cake. All right, 6-2. Looking like a match. We're fighting. We're basically the same exact conundrum that we had in the previous slot match. Happy chaos, huh? For Wavy. Where's that? That's at the very, very bottom of the list. Understandable. Not only is that a technical character... Are you kidding me? Axel again? Wow. That's, I mean, that's duplicates for you. It's the Axel kind of day today. Let's see what the players say about that. I mean, Spooky is like feeling a little discouraged about the Axel pick. It feels like, although it's like I mean, it's worked out so far. And this is Happy Chaos that we're talking about as well. Are we gonna roll this with this matchup? Wavy being the gentleman that he is, offering a potential re-roll for Spooky. Right, and we are gonna take it. So let's do a re-roll on this. Let's see where it lands. Close to Abba, Anji. Looks like it is gonna be Anji. So offensive potential unlocked, and this is decently high up on Spooky's list as well. So I imagine this should be a bit more comfortable. Or I mean, I'm not sure how, if it's like yeah, I'm not actually sure what the rationale is exactly, because like it is like an A-tier character for Spooky, the Axel. Maybe it's just about, you know, wanting to experience different things. It is a fun little format after all. Right, so the new remade Happy Chaos, the redesigned. Not only is it a super technical character, but the character just doesn't work like it used to anymore. I think jury is still out on whether like the old version or the new version is easier to pilot, or like, I don't know. People just don't play this character very much. Especially after the super obnoxious stuff got nerfed. Like I'm not sure like if the remake actually made Happy Chaos more playable for newer players or not. Fact of the matter at the moment is that Wavy is out of shots. Finds the concentration button though. I could imagine it's just like trying to fumble between your special move, like, ah, shucks, where's the damn reload? But Spooky, while that is transpiring, just swinging those big fans around and bringing in the Bane. It's a gap between the shot. If it's not one of the characters that you play on a regular basis, keeping your block strings tight, keeping your block strings even safe can be a huge hurdle. Oh, that's a punish though. Yep, Wavy recognizes fundamentals, knowledge of the game, and all that. Spooky strikes back though, with a group of stomps, a little bit of real estate recovered, but what can we even do with that? Not much, it seems. And Spooky has been able to fight it to a position where we had the previous lot as well. 6-3. Are we gonna go even further beyond? Is the burning question on everybody's lip, no doubt here. And what are we gonna go even further beyond with Asuka? Asuka! For real? Is that the character? Let's see, where is Asuka for? So Baiken for Spooky. Where is Asuka for Wavy? It's in the second lowest tier, understandably so. Baiken is in the middle of the bunch, of course. And probably slightly easier, more standard characters, slightly easier to pilot out of these two. So definitely still a fighting chance, I would say. We have to rely on the opponent not being familiar with that man's toolkit. If I recall correctly, I can't read the name of the tier of Wavy's characters in my small screen of OBS, but if I recall correctly, it was like the blue tier is have tried it on training mode, or in training mode, but not in a real match before. So this would, I guess this would be Wavy's maiden Asuka visit, or voyage, whatever you want to call it. It's it's a scary amount of inputs that you actually have to make it work. Unless you're happy just working with your normals. That is definitely a strategy too. We've seen crazier things maybe, like Zato without Puppet, never summoning Puppet, just flying around using normals, comboing into Drill, which is like relatively possible this patch. Didn't they make Drill faster? I think so. But no drills here. Spooky has once again procured another round. Starts with a spell cast. Nice juggle into knockdown. Yeah, a little bit of damage. I think just about any amount of damage that you can get, just about like any amount of value you can get your spells here as Asuka is gonna be like something that you're willing to take and not be too like bummed out about it. I wouldn't even know like what spell slots to cast, like which button corresponds to which spell. It's like PKSH, so this would be the H cast. He's looking for it. Yeah, casting this spell would give Wavy like full repertoire of spells immediately, but do we get there? Do we get there? Runs under. Ooh, opportunity. This is a spell technically as well, I guess. I mean, or a projectile. Damn, Wavy just never got that bookmark casted, huh? It's okay. We didn't even need it. We didn't even need it. Awful lot of screamers in the hand, 3 to be exact. Yeah, those are big stop signs. They kind of look like the Finnish stop sign. Do all stop signs universally look like that? I don't think so. But that certainly is a Finnish stop sign. Here comes the instant air dash, or rather the late air dash. Into pressure. Wavy. Out of resources, out of health, out of burst, out of mana, out of everything. And Spooky, like a shark, like a hungry shark, closing in on the target, has maybe sensed a moment of weakness. Has sensed disturbance in the RNG. Disturbance in the RNG, I sense. You are cooked. Cooked you are. Leo for Wavy. And Bridget for Bridget. That is a slightly unfortunate roll for Spooky at D tier, whereas Leo also rather low. Leo, out of these characters, might be able to get more value from just fundamentals. I'm not actually sure. It's like a lot of Bridget power level. Like I'm always scared about characters that you can't pilot and also have like very low amount of damage per touch, and also have a lot of their like power level allocated into set play. Those are kind of like dangerous non-proficient character picks to me usually. With Leo you could like ABC into Lariat. I mean, throw flash kicks, throw sonic booms, play Guile. Can we play Guile? I mean, playing Guile on day one Leo, is that a thing? Is that gonna track? Yes, it is! Tracking behind Spooky. We have found the back turn, for sure. A little bit too close with the scooter. The Gatlings don't seem to be perfectly in the muscle memory. Twirling, spinning, out of there. See you later, old man. Yeah. Using the projectile. That's kind of like what I was thinking initially. Like, we do have a projectile, a very strong projectile at that for Bridget. Although it's not always available. It's only available for like once every couple of seconds that you can send it. Ooh, caught them with a close slash. Into another one, decent amount of damage for Spooky here, and the 5 heavy. The 5 heavy is definitely a button. With an instant air dash, ooh, meets the quick flicking fist of the king. Committed into a button though, so Roger Super will catch the shimmy into Scooter. Baits out the throw! I think that was like, Wavy was already on like his like, as the blue RC was coming out, he probably already had queued the throw command there, so there was no stopping it anymore.
Wins.
This is in fact getting interesting. Two more to go for Spooky. Okay, Leo again, huh? Leo would be the one for Wavy. We'll see what the players say about that. And Asuka for Spooky. Yeah, both these characters are relatively low power level, self-evaluated picks for both. But of course, Asuka, I will always, like, even though I love this character, Asuka, even if I do love this character, I'm like, Asuka is kind of a tough pick in this format, usually. So what's the verdict? I think the verdict is we are gonna play it out. And if I was a betting person, I would definitely bet against Asuka here. Always bet against Asuka.
Duel 1.
Unless projectiles are actually kind of good. I mean, I know that, like, I would say that Spooky probably has a slightly better handle on, you know, where the inputs are for Asuka compared to what Wavy had earlier. So there's that. We actually have the projectile wall once every short while. And that should be pretty strong against Leo, right? I didn't actually know that you can use your, like, guard stance or parry stance or guard point stance to nullify the projectiles. That's kind of a nice feature, especially since you don't take the damage while you're holding that. Right, with the jump in at the very tail end of the mana bar as well. Lariat, FD was used though, so no punish opportunity, unfortunately. It's the last bit of Spooky's mana. Now it's all about those normals. Goes for a throw, but the neutral jump shimmy and the burst bait as well. Oh, but doesn't finish the plate. And now Spooky's back. Back in Hogwarts. Throw a spell. You're a wizard, Harry. The infamous spell. Oh, Spooky knows how to cast it though. Here's the burst. Okay, okay. Even if Spooky goes down, it's not the end of the world because the opponent had to use the burst as well. A little bit of burst advantage here. Like the big difference. The bookmark was not cast by Wavy for like 20 seconds, and it was cast by Spooky immediately. Oh, the control difference. Ooh, that was from the front. That was kind of ambiguous. I thought the Berserker Slash would have crossed there. Nice, stands up for the overhead. Can't see those. Gotta just feel it with your heart and soul. I think he will overhead. Oh my goodness! I think Weapon X coming. Or did you know? I didn't feel that one. With the neutral skip, or rather the pressure reset into cross up. Spooky's very close to no mana. If you cast here, you will go bust. But getting a hit here is also super important. Now using the normal string in order to buy a little bit of extra time. There we go, back in business. Hogwarts 2, Electric Boogaloo. Where is my spell? Staff, at least we can cast Staff. Is there any merit to that? Tries to go for a backdash shimmy. Wavy doesn't bite. Tap them with a 5D. It's not enough though. Send a projectile. Another one. Screamer. Good spacing. Go for a third. Hogwarts strikes back. Stack them with a 2K. And now back to this. It's starting to look pretty okay for Spooky in this particular matchup. I say that, and immediately pop goes the Weasel. Good use of Deflect Shield, pushes Wavy away and gets a whiff punish. And the mana should be coming back right about now. Goes back into test case 1, is this? Or is this 1 or 2? I think this is 1. One break. Okay, we just need to keep the pressure going. Just cast everything, refund your hand, and you should have Leo down before your mana bar is emptied. That is exactly what happened. Go cat profile icon. Like, Spooky can't, she's like, literally, listen. Listen, chat, listen. Spooky can't lose this. He's rocking my cat. Look at that cat. Look at the cat. How can you lose with that cat? That is Milky, let me tell you. Freaking Milky. Impossible to lose. This is already written, like, this is set in stone. Spooky is gonna win this. No questions asked. Abba for Wavy. Not biased at all. Not biased at all, but I love my cats. Okay, so where's Abba? Abba was... And then Venom for Spooky. Abba is relatively high. Moderately high, let's put it like that. Whereas Venom is... I think also moderately high. Is he? Where's Venom? In the B tier, okay. Okay, moderately high last sprint to this this nail biter of a set. And funny that we should have talked about reverse sweep earlier. For this is exactly a perfect setup for reverse sweep. If Spooky gets it, it is as they say. If he doesn't get it, it's the save of the century. Better than Norway's goalkeeper. Right? Ooh, unfortunately, not able to pick it up. So now we'll have to interact a little bit with Spooky's Venom in order to build the jealousy. But build it we do. It's a lot of huge chunk coming in from the key grab, and now I don't bet any money on Venom anymore this round, right? If Weiwei is in jelly, yeah. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to sort of swing your way to victory at that point, because let me tell you, this character's normals are absolutely cracked. Ooh, use the 2S there, slightly rarer button. Both players reach for the throw. It was half a little accident or maybe a funny little bait, but now it should be a good position for Spooky. If Spooky has control over what special moves we use, if he has commands down, if he has the discipline, if he has the fundamentals, if he knows how to Gatling or cancel into Carcass Raid, it should be in the bag right, unless Wavy gets some sort of a crazy reversal here. Boom. Final Luigi. All in on Milky. Let's go, Milky. Let's go, Power Milky. Takes out all the balls. But I mean, as long as you have a little bit of that jelly left to use, it's never over. Never ever over. In fact, it hasn't even started yet for Wavy. We do need to get into a position to enable that Jealous Rage though. Because one of the ooh, here we go, 6 heavy into Milky. Come home, baby. Lofts a ball, a little bit too far though, can't utilize it immediately. But here it goes for the jump and mix up. And just like that, reverse sweep. looked like a completely desperate kind of position. It felt like Spooky's smile and optimism had already been sunk down to the deep wells. But no, we pull back and do the reverse sweep. For the kitty. 7-6. Wow, okay, that was a match for sure. A lot of funny things happened. The one matchup where we got this exact same characters twice in a row is definitely a once in a lifetime kind of a thing. Wowee. Okay, from that spectacle, we are moving on to the top seed of the evening. We've got that boy, Wonder Boy, one of the toughest in Finland, one of the best Nago players that our fine little country has produced. Gonna be fighting a new Bounty Hunters acquisition from last week. Showed up with a lot of spunk. And a funky, exciting character on top of that as well, Testament. I mean, we do see Testament quite a bit recently, but I think Testament is really cool here because of this matchup. I think if you have discipline in this matchup, even though it's probably not as good as it was in Season 2, in my opinion, it should still give you a clear game plan for how to beat this character, Nagoriyuki. Nago is kind of like one of the characters to beat of this patch, being at a how should I put this without getting suspended? In a really good condition this patch, let's put it like that. In a really decent competitive position. And Hoplan, a long-time pilot of this character, synergizes really well with the pick. And like, what is that game plan, you may ask? Well, if you are able to get a huge blood, put Nago in a huge blood deficit, that means there is no swift relocation tools, no mobility options available for Nagoriyuki, only super jump. And in that kind of position, it's kind of easy for you to predict what is gonna happen, unless Nagoriyuki swipes the credit card. There's there's no way to get to you very easily. You get to use your fireballs, you get to stack Stain, you get to bully them with what's the move called? Arbiter Sign. And Nago just basically has to hard guess or gamble with something. Either get a credit card swipe into, use a special move to go forward, and then you're on a timer. As soon as, Klarna's over, it's over. You're gonna pop. But that is my vision of the matchup. Let's see how Oxa plays it, because as we know, there's a huge amount of player expressions, and different players of the same character might not arrive to the same conclusions. There are so many different ways to play fighting games, and there are so many ways for Testament to relocate themselves out of the corner. Rather, RPS. There's the swipe. Now, there are a couple of different kinds of credit card swipe types. One is the, oh shit, I am going to die, let me swipe, kind of a Yukimo. And then there's the, maybe a little bit more often used, the one that Hoplan used here. When you're getting close to the level 3, you just swipe and, guarantee going into the mode. And then allow yourself to go tip yourself over momentarily is like, it's kind of like a you might as well kind of thing. And maybe just like taking advantage of the fact that you do get plus frames from the credit card swipe. And, you know, plus frames, I'm not sure about you, but plus frames in fighting games tend to be pretty good. Ooh, and the swipe. I think Oxa tried to jump out here. Also, I think I forgot to put this on rematch, so sorry about that. Let's fix that. Right, 1 up. One thing is for sure, once Hoplan gets into a really nice headspace and starts feeling comfortable, it's really hard to stop him. And in that sort of way, it's like, it's a perfect character plus player combination. Because like, that's kind of what Nago is all about as well. Teleport RPS? No, just throws a fireball. However, Hoplan that time was jumping over. Jump out of the command grab. Sorry, the normal throw. Oh, I love those. Is this actually gonna combo? Yo, that actually combos. That's crazy. The Testament combos have come such a long way since season 2. Huh. I'm pretty sure you couldn't connect that back in the day. Ooh, teleport into kind of looking nice position, however, the timing was a little bit off. Deflect shield to prevent the curse pop getting any sort of relevant value. Recurses. Doesn't quite get there in time, and then the Fukyo momentum outsmarts the low arbiter sign. Oh, and that's a safe jump! Perfect timing for Hoplan. Yeah, it's one of those things that we keep talking about when Testament is on the screen. One of the slowest reversals in the game. So slow, in fact, that most natural, like most standard close slashes, if your timing is perfect, can recover as a safe jump before that even goes off. But I mean, it's not free. You do have to have that perfect timing, sort of. With the shimmy. Oxa doesn't bite with the throw this time. Ooh, here's the swipe! Relatively high blood, but those heavy buttons, every one of those produces a lot of blood. Hoplan is gonna exit into rather similar kind of blood deficit here. So now, this is exactly the kind of spot where you can't actually swipe anymore. Although, oh, the burst comes through. Did he hit it? He guards it with the FD! Good shit! Sees it coming, might have pressed the button, but the startup definitely was not there yet. So FDing, kata canceling available. If there was anything pressed. If not, well, it was just a standard DP bait situation. Nice IBFDs. Those are definitely something that you want to be utilizing no matter who you are against Nagoryuki. Gets it again. Wow. This is the high-level gameplay that we were talking about, starting with the 6 heavy. Not close slash. I think the 6 heavy is actually a better starter nowadays. Ooh, the 2S into DP actually whips. Do you need maybe blood for that? Very close to popping, so the defensive modifier is really low or high depending on how you look at it. Taking maximum amount of damage here basically. Tries to, I think, bait the reversal super there. Possession in plays in the air. Still has the option available. 2K. Is that enough to push you over? Gets the swipe here, and now guess for your life for the next 2 seconds or 3 seconds. The credit card swipe does last longer. Oh, there it is. Throw? Yes. I was like, close slash might actually not kill here maybe, but Oxa making the absolute safe decision, finishing with something that just cannot be bursted. But yeah, as I was saying, the credit card swipe lasts a little longer depending on what your current blood level was. So if you activate it at like level 3, then it's gonna last for a decently long time, such as here. And it's kind of relevant because after it expires, it goes on a small cooldown of sorts where you can't really use it again for a while. That's a double stain! Poop, pop! Into. Cash out with the girls. And now 50 meter available for Hoplan, goes for it. I think I saw a 2K. No, never mind, I didn't see anything. I didn't see shit. And here's one of the new patch changes. The stain triggered by the throw here. Another, I think that keeps the combo, like if throw triggers the stain, you still can't burst, right? So that would be another cool option if like you're trying to finish the game. Ooh, gets hit by the second hit of the DP. It's okay. The control is immaculate for Oxa. And there we go. In this kind of plot break situation, like you're never gonna get close to Testament unless you go for a super jump. Like if you do, and if Testament is just backing off, then like your super jump just ain't gonna lead into anything. It kind of relies on Testament queuing up some sort of projectile and you trying to punish it if you're ever going for like a very preemptive super jump. Okay, we swipe, and then... Ooh, and then we pop. Burst is available here this time, so Hoplan will still have around half of your life bar. Or, wait, never mind. Oh yeah, they changed that. They changed that, didn't they? So now if you pop, to compensate how, you know, safe the... how safe Yukimo has made the sort of the metagame of blood management, they made it extra punishable, like extra dangerous to pop, because you lose even more than before. It's like technically a one-touch situation nowadays if you don't have burst available and your opponent doesn't fold. Oh, nice IBFD again. Nice IBFD again. Keeping Hoplan nice and steady outside of the bite range. Curse applied. Ooh, that's so sexy. Jumpy. Switch sides. Curse pop. I like that. I think any other button might have actually been too slow there. Speaking of too slow. Oh, never mind. It's not too slow, huh? And Hoplan, I'm not sure what Hoplan was trying to queue up there. Looked like IV flash? Unsure. Either way, Oxa taking the lead here. First time in this set. But you bet your ass. The Alepa superstar ain't slowing down. We swinging for the fences. Keep him steady, keep him there. Corner boxing situation. Nice timing on the air dash out of there. Ooh, gets the side switch. It's okay though. Hoplan had a jump K coming in and was able to keep up the frame advantage. Speaking of the jump case, comes down from a nice teleport angle, triggers the curse. Nice jump by Hoplan. Avoids getting cursed there. Ooh, PRC option select, huh? Recognized it's not gonna hit, so save yourself, save the position, save the corner, and take the round. Oxa Testament looks just so good, so good, so good, so good. It's especially like the possession control is one of the sexiest thing that you see on Testament. It's a burst out. Ooh, important far slash for Hoplan. That's gonna bring a little bit of blood home, as well as put Oxa again in the position. And Oxa does not have access to the burst, but maybe it's okay. She is sitting on 1 round lead. Was that a safe jab? Nope. Yeah, like we said, it's not a free thing to do. Hoplan investing the burst. Kinda had to. Ooh, sends the neutral crow instead of wait, was there a succubus marker there? I think there wasn't, right? So there was no choice. 6 heavy, pulling Oxa down onto the ground. Waiting for a move, no move, another 6 heavy into. Big combo. A lot of blood spent. However, I think there's still the goes for a burst bait. Oxa doesn't bite. Soon though. Or maybe we don't even need to use it. Teleports into a safe chap set up. Bait! Was that an... Wait. Is that an option select potentially? If you... Wait, no. You should be... Yeah. No, you definitely have to commit to one of those options. Either the safe jump or the backdash. Okay. Hoplan showing that we're not done yet. This is indeed gonna be a match.
Mankind knew that they...
Between the hardest hitting players of the evening. But who's gonna hit harder? There's the best 2P somewhere in there to prevent Hoplan from getting in. Got the marker still in there. Hoplan burst. Instant swipe. I think we were about to go bust there potentially. But even if Hoplan was not gonna bust, I think the Yukimo is... It makes sense to use there. Makes a lot of sense. Double pop into optimal combos. Misses just a little bit by the heel of Testament's boot. Oh yeah, this is exactly the sequence we saw earlier. Put the Succubus marker in there, put yourself airborne, and by moving in a particular way, if you are far enough away, you should be able to react to incoming clones, right? And potentially evade by teleporting instead of, trying to poke at the incoming clone Fukyo. Okay, it is secured. That's a double pop into max conversion. Woo! But Hoplan has burst available, probably has to reach for it as well. Yep, immediate burst, need to do it. The swipe slightly misses. Was that what Oxa was meaning to do? That was a really interesting turn of events. Pops here, is it safe? It is not safe, unfortunately. So Oxa once again in the lead. In this back-to-back thriller of samurais and reapers, all the edgy things that we've ever seen in fighting games. Ooh, okay, the forward-moving momentum, pushing Hoplan out of the... What is that called again? Arbiter sign. That's the one. Oh, perfect spacing there. It's the 5B, or sorry, the 5 heavy. If Hoplan didn't land that Samurai Showdown slash, then would have had to take a double curse again. Like, it's so cool, like when you get Nagoriyuki at very high blood, then like the double stain actually becomes like a realistic tool. I don't think, I can't think of another matchup where you actually get to use the double stain. Like, I've been saying for a long time that that's like, it doesn't come into play very often at all. But High Blood Nago, you actually have the ability to stack that stain relatively often. Into more pressure. Oxa tries to jump out of there, but Hoplan making sure that's not happening. Close slash, classic anti-air. Tap them with the overhead. Have you played old Guilty Gear? That's a low altitude L throw. Ah, but the crow, unfortunately, in that situation, the plot pop could have been an opening, or rather an ending for Oxa. But she had already committed to the crow, which basically breaks Hoplan out of the stain pop animation, which means no punish for you. It do be. That's kind of one of the most important factors when fighting these, research management characters like Nagoriyuki. You gotta look at the opponent's resource. In case they make a mistake. Did we make a mistake here? Nope. Still blood pressure going down. And an immediate cash out into Nostorovia. Cheers. Cheers for this potential comeback. Hoplan still doesn't have the 50 meter. That was a really fast pace. I don't think, like, from that soft knockdown, Hoplan probably wasn't even in the mind space. or in the position to even press a super. Ooh, okay. Slick and slide way in there. Little shimmy action. No throws being utilized by Oxa though. Oxa hasn't really relied on the fuzzy throw that much, right? Although it's not the only thing that you're... Yo, that's sick! The only unfortunate thing is that, like, Oxa hit the bait, but put herself in the corner. And since Hoplan had the butter to spend, immediate burst. Yeah, I think that's pretty high level Guilty Gear Strive meta. I think a lot of players just wouldn't care about that, but when you're playing Guilty Gear Strive at this kind of like super high level play, burst bait by the way, Oxa doesn't bite. When you're playing Guilty Gear at this kind of a high level, then a small thing like that where you, like, even if you land the mix-up and put yourself in the corner, you might have just lost right there because the opponent bursts you in there. Same kind of situation here. Tries to anti-air, close slash, no cigar. Very reduced efficacy of that, of the hitbox. Ooh, back throw though! We got those classics! Nice hunch there on the command grab. Hoplan hasn't been able to land a lot of those. That's gonna trigger the curse. Yeah, into an optimal. That's so cool. Like, not a single curse pop combo, not a single possession combo was missed that day, I reckon. An opportunity here to even it up. 5-5. Ooh, this time the teleport timing wasn't quite perfect. Hoplan was already in the process of striking the air. Double Fukyo. And connecting with a lot of normals, especially the far slash slash slash, the last slash of the sequence. Oh, here comes the pop. And we're gonna get the max punish. That's a kill, right? That's a kill. Yeah. With the new no mercy rules on the Blood Rage pop, Oxa cashes it out with a big 6 heavy, even without a counter hit. That's lights out, baby. Ooh, the forward Fukyo tap into DP. Big reward. Prompting Oxa to go for that burst. And the bite is also slightly nerfed because like it's no longer the lingering buff that you get from it, but it reduces your blood pressure like immediately. Oh, clean to clean. This could be a kill. We might have to RPS out of there with a super. No, never mind. Hoplan gets out of there. Resources intact. Swipes in her face. Wowee, zowie. I mean, I think what Hoplan was thinking that Oxa wasn't gonna rush in at that distance, but instead run away, so went for the, ooh, nice save there. I think that was a pop, but saves himself just at the nick of time with a strategically placed bite, and now, yeah, there is jumping, there is popping. Oh, but the projectile again! Tragedy storms Oxa. That was another sure way to get a kill, but the projectile was already in the air. So basically, like insta pop, insta exit out of the sticky situation. That was a nice combo, by the way. From backside, what was that starter? Jump, close slash? I don't even know. And 2. Quite well-timed gold burst. It's kind of what you want to do. What you want to do at high level. Are these the things that we see at high level Guilty Gear Strive? Yes, they are. Immediate. Ooh, that's so smart. That's so smart. That was not only a burst bait, but also in order to route into the Blood Rage pop. Unfortunately, it didn't end up working for Hoplan that time, but I really dig the idea. Hey, sometimes you don't hit it home, but if you're already in that situation, might as well go for the big plays, huh? Stacking it once. Ooh, that was it the tail whiskers or the tail feathers of the crow? This is like I'm liking what I see. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this shit? Are you seeing the timing of these projectiles? Like I don't expect somebody who like doesn't watch Testament on a regular basis to think much of it, but do you see this shit? Do you see how perfectly executed the full screen control is? Goes for a tap, that time not so perfectly executed, a little early I would say. But the last game, the base of this match has been absolutely terrifying. Slide into 6P, okay. Chose to press something there, but didn't quite get there. Swiping. Nice punish there against the 2 heavy mist. With the succubus marker behind your back, you have to be extra careful pressing like any of those heavy buttons. And just like that, Oxa set point. Well, players with all of their resources intact though, so anything could happen. Oh my goodness, did Hoplan just snag Oxa out of the last airborne frame? Kind of what it looked like, but I'm not sure. I didn't have my frame goggles on. The RPS into safe jump, into more safe stuff. Looking for a curse here, gets it, and gets there in time before Hoplan's boom goes online. This isn't quite the kill. I think on level 2 Nagoriyuki we are still alive, but guess for your life. Is it a high? Is it a low? I think this baits like, look at that! She was looking for that in one of the earlier sets, but Hoplan didn't bite that time. And now gets the showcase. Fakes a safe jump, or I think Testament can't even safe jump, because like if you could, then there would be no like realistic reason to ever go for that. But because Oxa is playing it, I'm gonna derive from this information that the safe jump is not possible on 9-framers, and that's why you go for the hard read, like so. Holy shit. What a match. What a match. Yeah, I can, like, Oxa has kind of confirmed it for me. Even though I haven't really played Testament myself for a couple of seasons, the same game plan definitely applies. You just have to be a little bit better about the contact. Like, there's no avoiding it. You're gonna come into contact with Nagoriyuki on, like, semi-regular basis. But if you're smart about those interactions, and if you're patient, and if you can manage to run away often enough, then you can get into that position where Nagoriyuki just can't play. And then it's kind of like, okay, which one do you choose? Do you choose to like sort of pussy out and not take the big risks, which like forces you to play Testament's game even with a little bit of blood left? Or do you just go the full gambler route and be like, okay, either I win or I don't? I mean, it sounds simple, but like it's like, I think there's a huge distinction between those two routes that you can take. Absolutely amazing set. And next up, we got the single robo of the evening queued up in the form of RageWolf. And I think RageWolf was one of the more successful robo players last week. Won his set, and not simply won. Didn't simply walk into Mordor, but had a somewhat of a journey with the Fellowship. Or maybe it was a waltz into Mordor, because like if I recall correctly, RageWolf had a pretty like strong chokehold of the set. Yeah, maybe we just walked into Mordor. Damn. Okay. That'll be the lore drop. That'll be like the base lore, base for this set. So RageWolf coming off a win last week on the Robo. And on the other hand, what was the other point I wanted to make? It was that... Right, it was that Jam versus Robo was also one of the matchups that was played last week during the DLC release event, which was also won by Robo, but that was not the match that RageWolf played that time. So sort of the stack is, or the odds are kind of stacked against Flakdo here. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just, you know, none of that makes any difference. Those are not the players that you care about. You're not concerned about the results of any other players' previous endeavors. We create our own story here. Let's go. Flakdo versus RageWolf. Puts down the mat, and even if you have to, like, you know, even if the opponent pulls up and puts you in a defensive position, as long as you are standing on your map, you will generate that battery. And once you get to play, oh boy, the level 3 options are kind of good, especially the level 3 missiles are super efficient at, you know, just having good presence at neutral. Tried to check it with the 5B, but the command hop into those specials, very tricky to deal with. There are just so many different angles that Jam can attack from when it comes to, like, striking from the sky. But now, the Mixerino tries to backdash out of there. Robo's close slash still tags it. And the cool thing about Robo combos is that as long as you can combo into 2 heavy, you can also combo into a mat, which means you're gonna be building some extra battery during your combo. Not to mention, like, or rather, not to forget that you also, from most of your enders, are gonna go into the Segway, the scooter, which, you know, it's just free battery. It just charges you for no reason whatsoever. Okay, that wasn't the dragon kick used there. You have Ryutsui, and yeah, ooh, that was an IPFT on the Ryutsui, so the plus frames don't matter as much. Mad Wolf howling at the dragon. The dragon is dragon though. Pushes immediately RageWolf through the wall. That's kind of what the carded Ryujin does. Like if you have the dragon kick carded and are sufficiently close to the corner, it immediately breaks the glass. Nice blocks there. Guesses the amount of overheads that RageWolf wanted to go for. The tricky thing about the pony into this move, the multi-hitting jump slash, is that the jump slash can hit from anywhere between 5 to 1 hits or 1 to 5 hits. So it's kind of like a just guess asshole kind of a situation. Ooh, great movement. Even though RageWolf got hit on the way out, he was able to put himself on the sort of center side. Unfortunately, you know, Flakdo had a really good conversion there. So didn't get out of there for free. Got punished. But I do like the idea. I definitely do like the idea. Lost frames from the carded Ryutsu. Couple of projectiles, and seems like if you are on level 2 of your missiles, the level 2 missiles even, like, they have a decent amount of block stun. So if you manage to get one of those off, if you want to put the mat down, you definitely can, and you can absorb like around like 10-ish or more before you have to make any sort of RPS decision or neutral decision. Yep, speaking of which, ooh, but Flakdo going for the hard read here. Bakshu command step into a throw. That is one of those tools that is extremely difficult to react to. Kind of like everything that Jam has. That's kind of her whole niche. You ram yourself at the opponent with the speed of sound, and it's just like really hard to see what's coming. Has always been. And the pressure is suffocating. Flakdo putting another win on the board. 2-0, quick one. Couple of meatballs, hop back in there. Let's see what RageWolf had to say about that. Nice 2K check there. Bakshu, of course, the primary weakness of that move is that it has a hitbox close to the ground, so you can check it with lows. But then the above knees box is just completely gone. So if your opponent tries to poke at you with stuff like 5S, 5 heavy, generally those will be low profiled by Bakshu. Ooh, it was a little late there on the 5 heavy, or slightly early, or I think that was just a misinput on one of the heavy special moves. Because like your go-to Oki tools as robo-ky are either the Lucky Lounger, which is 214H, or the Pony, which is 236H. All cards ready to be unleashed. Yep, understandable. You don't want to go too low health with all of those stocks available. Still working with 2. RC to secure the wall break. Gonna force it with the clean hit Ryujin. Oh, yeah. That's the 2 heavy, the knee rocket for a robo, very low on recovery. It can be used as like a preemptive anti-air tool, which is I think what RageWolf tried to do here. But if the opponent approaches on the ground, you're usually toast. Ghozzty is carded, so if we get in the guard, we can do plus frame stuff, such as... Oh, here with the cash out though, that could be a kill. Do we go into super? No super! No super! Oh gosh, jolly. I think RageWolf might have been like in a decision paralysis. After the 5 heavy, could have gone for the cash out super or just done segue into FRC, but ended up not doing either one of those. But now battery is loaded. Immediate burst, Ryuchi carded as well. Threatening with it. That's like the disgusting RPS. You have like one of your special moves carded, especially if it's like Ryutsu or Gekirin, and then the opponent is just looking for those 2, and then you just use the other one. We got them with a close slash, no confirm though. Level 3 Rockets tries to slide in for the 2D guard crush, no doubt. That one. Waiting for a response, no response. Flakdo just jumps out. He's probably looking for a reversal super, which is one of the only reversals available for Jam. Her parry would be a 5-framer function, basically. So anything that your jabs can beat at close range, your parry can contest at further ranges. Ooh, I think that was it's OTG with the Lucky Lounger, unfortunately. Yeah, lots of mats. If you do put down a match during your pressure, it is sort of like a buff. Ooh, the IBFD. Hey! I saw the ABFD animation for the first time. I was looking. I've never seen that before. I think I've just lived my eyes closed up until now. Good FD pushing Flakdo out of the active range of all those mix-ups. Dragon kick into an immediate RC. If we can get a wall break, we can definitely get a wall break with 50. Here comes the bunny tornado. Pacha!
Duel 2. Let's rock.
All right, wild side of Jam. Round start, dragon kick. We've seen those. Ooh, good tap with the 5B though. Yeah, you better have your like quick, like almost nigh unreactable anti-airs ready to go against Jam, because like she's gonna be flipping at you with normal jumps, with command hops, with just about everything. Ooh, there's the parry. Finds the gap. Switches sides as well. Ryutsui is still carded. Waiting for an opportunity to use it, but delay there. The command hop into super delay Ryutsui. The flaccid missile, which is surprisingly strong from like a TK missile position. Like when you are level 1, the missile kind of lumps or slumps back onto the ground, but that kind of makes it a favorable angle if your opponent is trying to punch, like leap at you. Because the general weakness of the hand missiles or like the 236S is that they have a lot of momentum forward before they start tracking, but the level 1 missile just goes down really fast. A common problem, no doubt. No doubt. Anyway, into level. Ooh, what was that missile? Was probably maybe trying to go for a pony instead. Blocks the cross Geki. Blocks the Ryutsui as well, and unless it's carded, it is gonna be minus. Not minus punishable, but -4 is enough to press your turn. Air to air, we have a lot of juice here. Juices the cash out with the charge producing super, and there we go. Again, so close, so close. Look at how little Flakdo has held. But close is not enough in these video games.
Duel 1.
We have to get in, like we have to get all the way in there. Get the card crush, check with the 2K. This time checks with the slightly slower button, I like that. Because 2S, the multi-hitting 2S from Robo is a relatively good backdash catch. So like it can be used for fuzzy, like catching fuzzy throws, backdashes, like any delayed options like that. Ooh, what is this mix-up? Ooh, F-Shiki into, finds the hit but dropped it. Gets out of there, that was really close. The puffball didn't actually hit as an anti-air. Overhead, small damage, but small damage is what we're looking for at the moment. Single special moves don't necessarily possess like that much explosive potential on their own, but yeah, smart backdash out of there from the 2 heavy range. I think from these knockdowns, especially like segues mid-screen that don't produce like the best position, it can be really hard for you to dash deep enough to get like a 2 heavy meaty as a Robo. And the 2 heavy meaty, like the knee projectile is what you would like to always do if you can, kinda, sorta. But sometimes you just don't have the frames for it. Ooh, caught them standing up. That's the curse of the silverback gorilla. You would have to stand up if it is Gekirin. If it's the axe kick, you need to stand up to block the overhead. But if it's Ryutsui, it's I mean, it puts you airborne, so it kind of looks like a Gekirin, but it lands you immediately into a low. That's the whole crux, sort of the crux of Jam's mix-up game. Never trust your eyes. Ooh, that was sexy. The instant block there on the cross-up sorry, the Gekirin. Uh-oh, despite the trade. RageWolf now put in the corner, frame trap, that's gonna be a lot of damage. Doesn't quite build the 50. Could have maybe gone for the dragon kick for the clean hit. Chose to save it for a rainy day. Careful if you try to put down a mat or a projectile. Could be an immediate Ryutsin. Finds the hit. Out of there. Ooh, the 5K is still active. And the conversion, even into a wall break. Flakdo has been really consistent with just about everything. But here we go. RageWolf Splendor unfortunately ends in a relatively common-looking back throw incident. It's kind of limited amount of frames that you're working with, so you have to have these inputs like done perfectly. and then control the pony precisely as well. Like there's a little bit of steering action going in there. Once you go on the hop on the pony, you can kind of steer it downwards, backwards, forwards, upwards, anywhere. And then like the timing and the height you press your jump slash will depend on how many overheads you're gonna produce and how early you cancel your jump slash into jump heavy. Depends, like determines how fast you land. Yeah, it's not the most intuitive character to control. Ooh, force, I think on purpose misses the jump heavy into a throw here. Looking for one more hit. Baits. Ah, but it doesn't pay off. Flakdo, and I think even if Flakdo woke up with a super, the jam reversal super is actually completely cracked, would have probably chased that pony. I reckon. Get it. There we go, that's a clean 2 heavy into a pony. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we would always love to do on Robo, but like unfortunately human error is a thing sometimes. Ooh, cut them with the 2K. Keeping up the pressure. Like the single robo combos, unless you get like a close range starter, are not the most damaging, but he floats really well. No matter how much battery you have, you can always finish in segue, and it always gives you at least enough frame advantage to dash in for a close slash, if you're clean. Ooh, Bakshu under the rocket. So, was a little confused there when the throw ended up whiffing. Ooh, frame trap 2D into Lucky Launcher. Go sprint again. Ah, but this time, Flakdo strikes from the skies. Pushes RageWolf out of the mat. That is definitely one strategy. Like if you think or if you see your opponent taking out the mat, then like one of the best things you might want to do is just go at him, make them block and push them out. Because like Robo throws the mat like right in front of himself. Slightly flaccid. Common problem. Needs one hit of some sort. There we go, with the staggered 2K. I was about to say, Robo has all sorts of funky tools that allows him to play anything but Strive. Like, just, you know, Robo could theoretically just completely ignore the standard game plan of Guilty Gear Strive. The strike throw, the close slash shenanigans, all of it. We can play our own guard crash and or pony mix-up minigame instead. But hey, all the tools are available. You can still play the close slash stagger. You can still play the 2K stagger. Even 5K stagger, like hell. robo-ky's 5K is only -2, just like Nago. Huh? Crack normal? Crack normal, maybe? Anyone? But now, kinda low on electricity, so can't necessarily rely on those missiles. Ooh, that was tricky. I think misses the Ryutsu on purpose and then goes for a throw. The Ryutsu like recovers surprisingly fast. Like even the uncarded one. The carded one is a complete like abomination, freak of nature kind of a move. Has like almost no recovery whatsoever on whiff. Like not even a meme. Like a lot of the FGC memes about plus on whiff, but like carded Ryutsu is literally like couple of frames of recovery kind of a shit. Like kind of a situation. But the missile doesn't quite get there in time to abort the charge of the Ryutsu. Ryutsu plus Ryujin. Ryutsu is in. Oh, is that like a Himura Kenshin move? Ryutsu something? Ryutsu-sen? Is that it? It's been like a couple of decades since I watched Rurouni Kenshin. Can't remember the names of all of those moves from my childhood. Ooh, again, under the projectile we go. Bakshu. Looking out to be a strong tool for the neutral RPS. And this is technically Flakdo on a set point here. So RageWolf will have to be really careful. Tries to poke. Cuckoo Clock unfortunately misses. Here comes the gorilla. And I have the hiccups. Not like this. Ryujin, oh, interesting card to charge. With the delayed Lucky Lounger, doesn't manage to catch Flakdo. Jumps out of the Ryuchi as well. Sent help. FD is doing wonders, but then from the FD, Flakdo cancelled into the command hop. Held that option for just a strategical amount of frames, and then let it rip after RageWolf missed that 5 heavy. What a G. That's the jam I know and hate. And or slash love. Good stuff. What do we got next? More Testament action. We got 2 more games to go. Out of which the former is gonna be Yappie's Testament. Who else would Yappie be playing? Versus a new challenger entering the ring in the form of Mary. Gracing us with that Milia that we haven't seen all too much during Season 5 yet, I think. Alright, so the bad news for Testament is that we're playing against a fast character here in the form of Milia Rage. The good news is... I don't know. Are there good news? The good news is that we're playing Testament. Hell yeah. One of the coolest characters in the game. Who cares if Arxis doesn't give the necessary love to this character? If you love your character, then, I don't know, clap your hands and sign up on bounty hunters using the character and don't give a fuck about meta. I mean, I guess Milia in a way is sort of like an off-meta pick as well, because like how many people, like how many Milia players do you meet on a regular basis? Not too many, right? And then you meet one and they're absolutely cracked and you're like, holy shit, I don't even know the matchup. Uh-oh. Are we good on the connection front? Ooh, cut them after the not so plus frames anymore Crow cancel. Although I think if there is distance between Testament and the opponent, the Crow could be plus. I actually haven't done my my lab work in terms of that. Got them with the hand. Oh, but here comes the many air dashes and the queen of hairs. It's a really interesting, like, staring-looking momentum going into Mary's jump-ins. Where is that coming from? Or am I just blind? It's as if my brain is seeing something new, but I can't quite comprehend what I'm seeing yet. It's okay. We'll figure it out together. We'll figure it out together. I definitely didn't skip the patch changes for Milia. Ooh, that rose right there. Into, get rid of the curse, and straight into the mixer. That was layer 5 for sure. You're like, okay, you are absolutely going to respect my mix-up. I'm just gonna land onto the other side and just charge 5D. Below this time, tries to go for the throw, but the immediate rapid air dash over jump heavy. That's the good news for Milia for having such like a stubby, like low or like small area reaching air dash, is that it's actually perfect for like situations like this. You can just quickly skip over the opponent, like from the front side to the back side. Use your jump heavy. Like, might be a little difficult to like engage the opponent with, but for that you got other tools. I mean, for one, your character is one of the fastest run speeds in the game. You have Capel, you have Turbo Fall, you have multiple of those air dashes. It's okay. It's okay. Ooh, gets there before the 6 heavy goes online. Yeah, this 5k is a light button. So that recovers fairly fast. One of those buttons that you can use as a safe jab against Calamity 1. We do have the curse here. Ooh, okay. Strikes at the perfect timing, gets a recurse, and then the overhead from Arbiter Sign. Yappie on the board as well.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ooh, that was a deep dash commit straight into the heavy Grave Reaper. Although, yeah, it looks like, if I recall correctly, like the heavy Reaper doesn't like give you a huge combo anymore unless it's like fully charged, right? And you can't get that from like just standard starters very easily. Ooh, try to 5B. However, Milia already on the other side. Nothing personal, kid. Not quite teleporting before, behind you, but I mean, she might be as well, considering how fast she moves. Another Capel there. I'm not sure if that came from the left or the right side. Oh, it's so tricky. To the other side. Good block. Yeah, good defense. Like, you have to survive at least one of those onslaughts in order to push Milia back to neutral. And like as long as you keep failing to defend against the full sequence, it repeats over and over and over again. Put them into the hottest new mix. Only by DJ Milia. Tried to stagger. Yappie was already backdashing out of there. It's the... Even if you use the command dashes... Ooh, but the Arbiter Sign... Okay, this time the Septum Voices will power through the standard projectile. And steals the corner with the Turbo Fall. I guess that's like one of the important reasons why you want to try to hold on to Burst as long as you can against Milia. Because if she goes for like a Turbo Fall mix-up, finds a hit on you, then you could potentially just steal the position and burst her into the corner. And if she doesn't have meter anymore, then, I mean, GG's, I win. There we go, this time able to pick it up though. Ah, but the Crow! Crow in the wrong place, or rather the Succubus marker. Sends a neutral Crow this time, catches the jump. There we go, and triggers it as well. Guaranteed curse. Low Arbiters, cashes out, okay. Usually when you trigger a curse with Arbiter, you can choose to either go for another Arbiter for damage or try to set up another marker. Keeping the Milia player grounded. 6 speed, dashes straight into it. No low profile to be heard of. It's kind of like a Milia, like, immediately goes for the 5k. I was about to say, the 5k is one of those buttons, just like Chip, one of those buttons that you would probably usually love to press, because it gatlins into itself and it's kind of good for stagger pressure. But if you're trying to dash into that range, that caliber of buttons too enthusiastically, then Testament 6B is a thing that a lot of Testament players love to use. Surprise, surprise. Ooh, couldn't block the last hit here. Oh, and the Devil's mix-up. It's kind of like the no mix-up that goes into like a brain destroyer. That's literally what it is, the brain destroyer. Mary is freaking playing a brain destroyer here. Like, it's so slow that your brain just can't comprehend it. Like, what is happening? Yep, again. We saw that interaction before as well. That's why the Arbiter sign is such a good like counter zoning tool. And I mean, even though Milia doesn't exactly zone you, but she can throw those supers from full screen if she wants to. 100 meter Milia, kind of dangerous. Winger is a reverse. Oh, nice FRC. A little bit too much momentum, misses the shimmy punish, but knocked them down once. Shame on you. Something.
Mankind knew that dual
I don't know. Again, the use of Capel as like an extra cool air dash option to avoid the air projectiles that Yappie has been trying to send her way. Big punish attempt here on the 5k, but it recovers so fast. Is the curse? Can we get out? Yep. Jump. One of the favorite things that Milia players love to defend with. She do have some good air options out of a jump, so you might as well. And no reversal options other than the winger with 50. They were mixing though. Oh, that was behind! Behind! How? You can actually control that? That looked kind of cool. Yeah, the super high jump into a late air dash, we got those. Like air throw technically is an option that if you don't represent, like you can't really catch Milia very easily. Like no matter what character you are, I think. You absolutely have to represent the air throw option against Capel. In the blender, can we get out? We tried to input something. Lots of it. Oh, that was probably meant to be an air throw. I think would have caught Mary as well, but produced a. Is that a safe jump? No, the 2K is a little slower on recovery, I think, than the 5K. Counter. Yep. Burst that and then tap them with the Arbiter. From the burst, I believe you can't really escape guessing for the Arbiter, or rather reacting to the Arbiter. Even with the overhead that is slower, you would kind of have to like... kind of just have to take it. And stand up if you see it. So it's one of those options that like... It's not the most lucrative option for Testament, but it's kind of like an option that you can force a lot of the time. Is that gonna go over? No. Still cruises straight into the hitbox of the Arbiter side. Sorry, the Calamity one. To the other side. Yep, the big 6 heavy ends up missing to the left side, and then Capel to the other side, and then the Brain Destroyer. Oh. Oh my god. I'm like, okay, after I've seen it 3 times, maybe I am expecting it. But maybe not. Maybe not. I might, but I might not. Okay, into the corner. Yep, definitely wants to exit as swiftly as possible. As she does. Movement option completely evading the heavy Grave Reaper into FRC. Probably tried to plummet herself into an overhead mix-up. Looks like something went wrong with the control of the FRC, maybe. Patiently blocking it. Far slash ends up whiffing, and that's a dangerous whiff. It's a lot of recovery on those moves. And like whether Milia is on the ground, in the air, doesn't really matter all that much. She usually has some pretty fast reaching tools. Okay, we are in the corner. Yappie was trying to project a defensive field there. I know you're gonna jump, but can I keep you in there? This time the answer is no. He's like, holy shit, can this mosquito just get swatted? But no. No, she cannot. In the corner you go. Is it left? Is it a right? Yappie produces YRC. Switches side. Yep. Okay, able to dash fast enough or far enough in order to still maintain the mid-screen position. And then you're in the mix with DJ Milia. Yeah, I don't blame you. I eat those mix-ups all day, every day too.
Duel 1.
It's like one of the. They do say that one of the like more consistent options is to like try to deflect shield the best of your ability, like so that you don't have to guess for the left right. But it's not like Milia. Wait. You can't do. Can you still do the deflect shield option select? I'm not sure. I think there was like a new option select, but I'm not sure if it's like the same as the old one. Right, YRC, now we have the corner. Oh, not quite. Mary still had the burst. And you know what else Mary has? Lots of tension. Gosh, she's moving so fast. Tried to go for a 6K. That was pretty tricky. Into. Same side. Next one, same side again. Into low. There we go, cut. Oh, and gets the conversion as well. There's so little lounge from the non-charged heavy Grave Reaper. But it looks like you can still pick it up with 5K if you're in the right position. Trying to match the jump height, the air throw misses. Able to get a nice little hit with the Arbiter sign. An RC conversion, jump D, jump slash. Just barely missing. I'm surprised that jump slash actually missed. Into the slowest, left or right. Time to guess, asshole. This goes for a low. I was like, okay, the slowdown. Can I get some hints here? Where it's gonna go? Ooh, did they press a button? No. And a counter 8 was probably waiting for a burst. But I think Mary definitely tried to go for another charge 5D. Naughty one though. Yappie was happily fuzzy mashing that one. Ooh, the dash was just perfect here, like chef kiss. Under the projectile, into the combino. 5-course meal here. Into using all of the available air options. That's gonna get tagged. Yep. Has another one. This time can't quite produce Arbiter sign in time. Guess for your life. It's left question mark? I think that was left. I mean, you wouldn't play that unless that was left, right? I mean left. Correct? It's such a fucked up thing to block as well. And if you block that correctly, then Milia will still continue with the string, right?
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Waiting for potential whips here. Ooh, the jump slash hits exactly where it needed to. Now Yappie. Good start. Curse applied. And nullified. Yeah, it's like Milia really does make you play like her game. So if you're not comfortable playing the video game like this, it's like it's a culture shock for sure. Right, FD, correct, good. Able to survive it for a moment, but then you still need to win the neutral following that. It's not good enough that you blocked the mix-up correctly. That's only half the job. And Mary, she's not showing any signs of slowing down. Oh my god, send help. Into. Okay. Lands in the corner, deflect shield gone. We can hold this. YRC, that's the last bit of her defensive measures. That's so smart. If she doesn't do the Capel here, I think she falls into the like pushback of Calamity one, and Yappie might be safe. Charge Grave Reaper. I think still plus if you charge it, right? Misses with the jump slash interception, and here comes jump slash from Milia. I got a huge horizontal air-to-air one as well. Just barely misses with the 6 heavy. RC in order to try to get some sort of control of the situation. But I mean, ooh, nice punish on the landing. And then deflect shield gets value. Tries to align. I think there was an air throw missed. 6 heavy. Grounds Mary. Jump slash misses. So many misses. But none of them ending up. Oh, there we go. The snipe from Yappie. Finally. Finds a little bit of success. Trying to pinpoint a basically like a Ukrainian drone in the skies. Coming from beyond the clouds. Last second. Oh, okay, that I think that didn't produce the desired effect for Mary. So Yappie had the frames to still air throw. 5k stagger. Back to neutral. But if you're like stationary for just a moment, like this character will just pull up on you. There we go, the cross up mix up again. There we go. That's one of the I think one of the most steady hitting mix-ups that Yappie has been able to land. 2 for 2 or 3 for 3 for now. Can't stop, one stop. Needs a good hit. Revs up the 6p. However, Mary was in a perfect position just outside of the big hand rage and pressing exactly the button that the doctor ordered. 2k going under. Oh my goodness. Looking for, I think, one more, unless I miscounted. Milia Guilty Gear.
Mankind New. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Oh, that was... Wait a moment. Did you just throw Mary out of... Is that the thing? Throwing the last airborne frame? Was that the thing? That the thing? And like, if you think I'm like, if you're like, what the fuck is QK talking about? It's like, it's a archaic feature of Guilty Gear that you can actually throw the last airborne frame before landing, which like sometimes produces like super funky scenarios. Yeah, but now in the mixer again, set point, Hair Witch. What grade are we gonna get? Nope, we're just gonna skip it. It was probably a pretty low score, huh? And the Heavy Reaper connects. Of course, it's married to burst here. Trade even. Gosh, Yappie needs some sort of a miracle. And like, even when you do get the hits just doesn't, like, they aren't that large for Testament. I mean, this air throw is super cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite like soul damage or anything. So we need another one of those, and then another one of those. But we do have a life here. Takes the 6k, but okay in the follow-up situation. Gets wait, did that uncombo at some point and then Yappie got hit? Arbiter Sign, my beloved. Teleporting out of the harm's way. Can we get the jump slash? Here we go! A rare hit with the S buttons in the sky. Yappie looking to potentially survive. Ooh, that's a big one. I mean, it looks like a big one, but it kind of sends Milia reeling, so I don't think you can really convert that very easily. It's a mix of some of these like preemptive options that are very with punishable, and then like a certain mix of K buttons as well. And like, don't get me wrong, The Testament's K buttons are really good, but is Yappie gonna build the burst? Yes, they are. And then what? Text a throw? Ooh, the 5K misses. That would have been a huge thing. We still need to bait the burst for both players. Here's Yappie's. Where's Mary's? Nowhere to be found. Don't need it. Don't think about it. Don't even concern myself with defensive mechanics. For we are zooming. Mary taking her first debut appearance on Bounty Hunters. Very convincingly, oh my goodness, buzzing around. Float like a butterfly and sting like a mosquito. I mean, Milia hits pretty hard, so maybe you sting like a bee. Maybe you sting like a bee. Possibly. Potentially. Supposedly. Assumedly. Allegedly. I think she stings like a bee. Right, if you were sick and tired of Testament gameplay for tonight, too bad. We got one more. It is Sunny versus Ghozzty. Ghozzty is gonna be our last newcomer of the evening. Oh yeah. If Sunny's message doesn't make sense, it's because she was supposed to play Robo initially, but we made a little switcherino somewhere along the way. So yeah, just close your eyes and imagine it's Robo. It's Robo with like turbo projectile gameplay. But yeah, like I was talking about in the intro sequence tonight, I think this is like one of the, like, in my mind, this should be a matchup that Testament is like now not too bummed about playing, because like biking can't rush you down super easily. Biking can't neutral skip you very easily, and that's kind of like all that you desire as a Testament player. You just want to have some peace and quiet, and want to have a little bit of like want to have agency to start your game plan, which is much easier than if the way easier if your opponent doesn't just ram herself at you like a female silverback gorilla in Frenzy. Oh, but took the burst really early here. That's no defensive options for Sunny, or I mean, we do have Calamity 1. Nice knowledge there. Throws between the heavy and heavy Kabari and the heavy follow-up, or the heavy Kabari and the follow-up. Overhead hits. And ooh, got seconds out in there just in the nick of time. Teleport into, trigger the curse. Yo, look at that! The crow starting from a strategical position. I mean, the crow is like launched from behind Testament. It always starts from wherever it is on the screen, and generally it is behind you in its neutral position. And that happened to be a perfect position for where Ghozzty was occupying that time. Tries to play the neutral or the charged crows again, which sends them into a neutral trajectory. No dice though. Ghozzty stays low profile, stays crouching, and now mix-up time. Calamity 1, yep, should be able to beat TK Yozen easy peasy. And the perfect timing, charging just enough to give them a little bit of incentive to maybe press a button. I think you can probably do that airtight, but generally that's not the best thing in fighting games. And because you can charge it, and because like fully charged Grave Reaper heavy version is plus frames, I believe it's still plus frames. You can threaten with the prospect of being like super plus, so your opponent kind of has to challenge, and then that's where the partial charges come into play. Okay. Explaining very obvious things in fighting games. Good job, Yuka. Good, stands up for the overhead, but then gets cursed. YRC does take it. Ooh, immediate wall break. Boom shakalaka. Alright, we get the Escabari as well. That's the better version that you usually want for all of your stuff. Reset into another S1. It's a cool thing that you can do instead of just finishing your, like, cashing out fully from your combos. Oh, hold on! The slingshot FRC straight into mix-up. Oh, but that wasn't plus enough? Or maybe Ghozzty tried to go for a strike there and got thrown for his troubles. There we go, out of there. Worth it. Definitely worth it. Yeah, such a wide arc, like, I think whatever Baiken ends up pressing in the air has such a wide arc of cleaving, like, everywhere around her. Like Yozen-sen, cleaves all around, jump heavy, cleaves downwards, jump slash, cleaves horizontally, like, all of these good options. Oh, that was a quick one. Ghozzty was like, fuck this, let me show you my mixtape. Hey, listen to this. Yozen-sen. Into low, into high, into throw, into Yozen-sen. Right, good, didn't press a button there, so it didn't get caught. Curse applied, even from like a instant IAD angle. Should get some decent blast frames if you trigger the curse. We go, ready with the 6 speed. If we press, no we didn't. Counter hit, close slash, bait the burst. Casual walk in the park looking like for Ghozzty. We've seen these moves before. Maybe in other video games too. Ooh, slides under with the 2 heavy. Counter hit, kind of hit. Wait, that wasn't meaty? Are you kidding me? And Sunny just called that out just like that? Absolute G. I got the goal, the red parry. So the red parry usually comes out, or like generally happens when you parry like during your opponent's block stun, but it's like specifically much harder to hit the timing than like a normal like neutral parry. But if you are a crackhead labber and know a lot about the matchup, I think that is in particular, that is the tool that you can make a huge difference. Other than just having a sick amount of, set play repertoire. Yeah, it looks like you could punish maybe there, but no. Whiffing the follow-up still leaves her plus. I'm sort of guilty myself pressing there from time to time. Always. Got them low. And doesn't quite yet have the same functionality on the... Ooh, that was kind of cool. So calling out the red parry with possession. We're already developing layers. The neutral crow, kind of good option here. Because like if you expect the opponent to use the slingshot. 6P, hits high, hits hard. Able to jump out, recognizing that setup doesn't look quite as tight as it could be. Into last mix-up, FD pushes it far away, misses with a 6B! Oh my goodness! Rare footage of Testament big hand actually not reaching its target. Yeah, but it could happen. It could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could happen to Testament. Ooh, that's cute. Missing the 2K on purpose, question mark? To bait out the reversal parry. And then, what are we cooking on the Ghozzty side? Just a standard little block string. I think safe jump setup, because Sunny did have the ability to go for Calamity 1 potentially. Ooh, punish? Yes, indeed. But from the 5B, I'm not sure what would Testament even combo into in that position. And I think that's all she wrote for this game. Boom. Ghozzty. Turning up the heat. Throttling harder. I think that's not the analogy I was looking for. Full throttle onwards into the sunset. Ghozzty, like a rider, like a ghost rider. Sunny has been really good at using the FD here. So like when you are at a like sort of a spacing where biking could potentially threaten some shenanigans from point blank still, just aggressively pushing biking away with the FD input. But they're in time to S, beating the fast startup, or rather the slow startup of 6 heavy from Testament. Ooh, this time gets caught by the throw though. Yeah, once again, the delayed option. These are deliberate countermeasures to call out that tool that warps the sort of the nature of this wake up RPS so much. Like a very, very strange option if you are like you of course, given you don't do safe jumps that often in Guilty Gear Strive, I think, compared to many other video like fighting games. But say that you would... Oh, okay, we committed to that. Say that you would safe jump. The parry from Biken is one of those tools that will just say, nuh-uh, you can't. So sometimes you need completely different kind of countermeasures. Such as just, you know, just waiting, seeing what the opponent is gonna do. You know what Sunny has been doing a lot. Now through the wall we go. Let's see if Ghozzty can enforce this. Overwhelming amount of momentum going forward. Answer seems to like, yes indeed. And Sunny will soon have to think of some sort of solution to all of this. Lest we're just gonna let the opponent run away with all of that, all of those points. And psychologically, the warfare gets harder and harder the more points you are down. Wait, I thought that 2K was good. That was not active? Jeez. Right, into a... Oh, okay, choosing to go into the high-low from Arbiter Sign instead. Desiring a little bit more on the side of immediate damage. And control, maybe. Tried to rev up a 6 heavy, however, Ghozzty has been relentless, closing the distance between the two. Ooh, perfect home run! That could almost be a kill. Gets a curse. Into. Fully charged, Reaper. I think that's... Is that Blossom block too? Probably one of those things that depends on spacing. I think both the fully charged Reaper should still be plus, maybe. Yeah, definite maybe. But Ghozzty from the skies. IAD tries a neutral jump shimmy. Sunny doesn't bite that time. Get me out of this mix-up. Ooh, but that's a punish, yeah. It's relatively common for you to like sweep the air with heavy Grave Reaper, the upwards Grave Reaper, in order to like produce a disjointed poke as well as like preemptive anti-air. But if your opponent doesn't do anything, that's a whiff punish. That's a whiff punish. And that's kind of like one of the, like sort of what you want to be doing against Testament. Dash blocking forward, especially if you block S Grave Reaper on the ground. Like it's not a huge thing. Just keep dash blocking, and then if you dash block to a distance where Grave Reaper heavy version whips, then it's party time. Ooh, nice. The double jump out of there. with the jump K that hits both sides. Players using the resources in order to keep this position. Ghozzty still has a burst. Could choose to use it, could hold onto it too. Chooses to hold onto it for now. One pulls up with a too heavy. Decent damage, attach Escabari. Danger! Danger! Frame or like pressure reset. What was that? Because Ghozzty has been using that before as well. It's kind of like end your combo prematurely, Escabari, then instant air dash over something something. Ooh, that was a nice punish. So Ghozzty was so far away in the air, but was able to recognize that that's a missed heavy poke. And now, looking to secure an insurmountable lead here. One more hit, throw is gonna be it! Ghozzty in a position where it's just almost impossible to challenge anymore, unless you've got the Super Saiyan powers, maybe even like one of those SSG powers. You know what I'm talking about. We need some sort of really heavy stuff here. Let's get out of the corner with the teleport RPS. However, Yozan cleaving back, cleaving forward, cleaving everywhere. And Ghozzty doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. In fact, he's accelerating, plummeting. A comet from the blue sky, from the night sky, strikes into a set point position. Comes down with a jump heavy. Ends up missing, but I mean, I would be scared of the big jump heavy from Biken as well. Instant overhead, no meter to spend on that one, so difficult. I think that gets tagged. No! No way! I mean, it did hit, but because it's a projectile, it does travel its course and just causes an immediate wall break. Damn, Ghozzty. Showing that we came to game here. Absolutely. Yeah, good. Definitely a good entry set here. Doing what the Biken does. Doing what the Biken does. Okay, that's all of our games tonight. I think. Pretty sure, yeah. That's the sixth one. Okay, pretty slick games tonight. We had all sorts of nail biters, all sorts of comeback stories. We had once in a lifetime, twice double random into same characters, one in 1100 chances. We had comebacks, we had sweeps, we had all sorts of cool stuff. I think, let's see. Are we gonna run next week? Maybe we run next week. Yeah, maybe it's business as usual. It is season 5 after all. It's all the new toys. We might as well run next week. If you want to jump in, you know what to do. Join the Discord. Hope everybody who participated for the first time had a fun debut match. I always try to make sure that everybody has, you know, as much fun as possible, trying to make as even as possible. Like sometimes it's a little tough. But hey, you know, it is what it is. And for now, let's see if there's any Guilty Gear happening on Twitch side of things. The At least the French people are running a tournament, it looks like. What are these fellas doing? Let's actually go raid a... Let's go raid Steggy. So we've had them on bounty hunters before. Let's see what they're up to. Okay. But I bid you farewell. Next Sunday, same stuff again. FT5. Sorry, FT7. Oh my goodness. We don't play no FT5 here. Not with those rules. But yeah, see you again next Sunday. Till then, enjoy yourselves, have fun, stay safe, and bye-bye.